Hello and welcome back to Football and Next Moneyball for the next player in the Pick of the Day series. As I talked about in the last video following the dividend announcement last week, I feel the big winners from the changes are the media buzz winning players and players with high peak score potential to compete for the new silver and gold game day star man. Following the announcement, a lot of money's flowed into the top end of the market, which lines up with this analysis. Although from the players who've been seeing the biggest rises, it seems to me that people are favouring players with PB win potential over media potential. I think this could be a bit of a mistake based on the fact that even the top players usually only have 30 to 40 double or triple game days a season, whereas media players have 365 opportunities to win. Also, the media for me is much more predictable as well, so I think trying to target media players in this case is somewhat of low-hanging fruit, especially with everyone else's lack of attention to these type of players. For today's pick, I've gone for a player who has the potential to tick both the media and the PB boxes, and all for a price that leaves a massive amount of room for growth. We'll take a look at how he's racked up an incredible tally of goals and assists and trophies over his career, putting him in the very top tier of players. How recent signings and a change of management have restricted him to a lesser role this season, but how it hasn't dampened his goal contributions where he's running at 1.15 combined goals and assists per 90. And how this limited game time has led to interest from some of Europe's biggest clubs, one in particular that could lead to a massive amount of media buzz over the next couple of months. Then we'll finish off with the usual profit target analysis with some really big profit potential up top. So before we get going, the usual reminder, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you want to be notified when I post a new video, you can hit the bell icon. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can search for @IndexMoneyball. So for today's pick, I've gone for Thomas Muller at Bayern Munich. He's a 30-year-old second striker who can also play as a right winger or an attacking midfielder. Now this brings me to my first point that I like about Muller, and that's that he's classified as a forward on the index. Some players who play in this role have now been reclassified as midfielders. Marco Rios is one that springs to mind. And as you know, midfielders' scores have been very high on the new matrix, so I think for a player like Muller who gets involved a bit deeper, being a forward could be a big advantage when it comes to PB potential. The next thing to look at is his graph. Now I'm a little disappointed as I've been planning to use Muller for a video for quite a while now, but I was waiting to release it until after the European matches this week. Then he ended up starting and getting 2 assists on Tuesday for Bayern. Then he's been in the media link with Man United the last few days as well. So he's had a pretty big jump of 15% since the start of the week, but I think with this pick it's a case of better late than never, and there should be still a lot of room for profit at this price. If we look at his 1 year graph, you can see that he was up to 67p in October of last year, but he actually hit a high peak of 84p in April and then again in June of 2018. So his current price still offers a really attractive entry point considering all the growth the index has had since then. So I've come over to Transfermarkt and I'm going to start on a page that I've never used before in a video so far, and that is the virtual trophy cabinet. And I have to admit that when I started researching this pick, I was pretty blown away by this. He's won pretty much every trophy going, including a World Cup, a Champions League and 8 Bundesliga titles. Then he has a World Cup top scorer award to his name as well. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time here, but I thought it was worth highlighting as it's incredible to have amassed that many trophies by 30 years old. Now we've jumped over to his stats page for the season. At first glance, it looks like Muller's had a pretty good start so far with a goal and 6 assists in 12 appearances. But then if you factor in that he's only played 546 minutes, that works to an even more impressive combined 1.15 per 90. Then if we expand the results to his whole career, we can see he has 558 appearances, 228 goals and 174 assists, which equates to a combined rate of 0.83 per 90. I'm not sure how that figure ranks in terms of world football, but it must be up there with the best of them. On top of that, he has 100 caps for Germany, 38 goals and 36 assists, and he's currently their 11th most capped player and 9th top scorer. So the reason for his limited minutes at Bayern this season is that Coutinho's been loaned from Barcelona, with them paying a purported 30 million loan fee. Add that to the fact that Bayern have an incredibly deep squad competing for the forward positions, including some youth players, and it starts to look pretty tough for Muller to get into the team. On top of this, he's lost his place in the Germany squad, not playing since November 2018, and with the European champions coming up in summer, I think he'll want to be playing a bit more regularly to try and fight for a place. He recently spoke to the press about a January move, which Bayern quickly came out and responded to, saying that it wasn't going to happen. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't get more playing time, the rumours are going to keep going on, which is great for us because he's been heavily linked with Man United at the minute, and it would be an incredible signing if they managed to pull it off. They've been linked with him a number of times over the years, so it's not beyond the realms of possibilities that they might do it. So now for the profit target analysis, I've gone for the 3-tier dividend returns method that I usually use for older players. There's a couple of alternate purchase options I could have used as midfielders of a similar age and situation like Rakitic at Barca, but no forwards in the same price range really. For my low target, I went for Gylfi Sigurdsson at Everton. He's 30 and he plays in a somewhat similar role to Muller, but he's classified as a midfielder, which in my eyes is a drawback. Sigurdsson has a career goals and assists per 90 of 0.53, so well below Muller. He plays pretty regularly for Everton and Iceland, but the Euro qualifiers only have 2 games left, so even though Muller's struggling for game time, I'd expect him to play close to the same amount of games for Bayern when you add in the Champions League run. This price of 0.84 is more of a safety net for me than a target, as I feel that if things don't work out for Muller in terms of a move away in January, I'd expect him to still be able to reach this price or above by the end of the season, as a worst case. Then for my mid price, I went for Angel Di Maria at PSG. Di Maria started the season really well with 7 goals and 6 assists in his first 14 appearances, which equates to a combined rate of 1.2 per 90. His career record is 0.79 per 90, so both stats are similar to Muller, but with Muller edging it over his career and Di Maria this season. Di Maria's also got a lot more goals this season and is getting more game time, so that's a big advantage. But I see this price as a target for Muller if he was to stay at Bayern and end up being a regular starter due to injuries to other players, or if he was to get a move to another team not in England. It's also worth mentioning that Di Maria is a year older, so potentially a move in summer for Muller would still be a good result. It would probably be a high opportunity cost to wait that long for it to materialise, but I'd be happy with a 126% return in 18 months personally either way. Then for the high target, I went for Gareth Bale. Once again, Muller has the higher career goals and assist stat with 0.83 versus Bale's 0.72. Bale's a proven media winner though, and also has the potential for a move in January or summer as well. I think that the only real scenario for Muller hitting this price is a move to England to one of the big 6. If he were to sign for one of those and start winning some PB and work his way back into the Germany team, then you could easily see him pass this mark even. So I think this is a good high target. Then for my dividend payout scenarios, with Muller being so cheap right now, the varying dividend scenarios could have a big effect on his returns in terms of a percentage. So I'm going to be pretty conservative with this pick, but I think he has the potential to do really well on dividends if a few things go his way this year. For scenario 1, I went for no dividends of any kind. This is a fairly unlikely scenario, but it's good to plan for the worst case anyway. Then for scenario 2, I went for just 1 media buzz win on a match day and 1 IPD. So I'm thinking here along the lines of if the links to United rumble on a little bit till January, but coming to nothing in the end and fading out. I do expect these stories to intensify as we get closer to January, and even if he was to miss out on the media, the stories will still get noticed and are more than likely to generate a higher price. Then for the third scenario, I went for a silver matchday top forward win, 1 triple media win, 1 matchday media win and 2 IPDs. Now if this came off, then I think Muller should easily break the £1 barrier, and this is still incredibly conservative if you think about the potential media returns if the stories linking him with United start to gather some steam, or if he actually makes the move, and then if you consider his pass goal and assist record. So this leaves us with a profit target range of a 17% for the low on scenario 1 through to 184% at the high end of scenario 3. I think for this pick I have a dual short-term and long-term target. In the short term I'm looking at somewhere between the low and mid targets of scenario 2 by January, as I think the media are going to keep running with the United links until either the player or United shut them down. Then for the long term, if he were to get a move, then I would be holding on for somewhere between the mid and high target of scenario 3 by the end of the season, and potentially beyond that if he was to start winning some PB and get a recall to the Germany team. That's all we've got for you on today's pick. Again, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment and subscribe. Also, if you know someone else who might like the video, then sharing with them would really help me out. There are links in the description for signing up to Football Index and Football Index Edge if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel for more strategy videos and the other picks of the day. Most picks are long-term holds with depressed prices for some reason or other, so often the picks can still offer the same value, if not better, a few weeks after. And the research methods and reasoning can help if you're new to the index and want to learn to analyse your own players. Thanks for watching, good luck on the index.